evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews Primetime. I am Cairo, and we are live on Cool FM and News Radio 93.1, where we share the latest news headlines that care for you. Let's begin with the headlines. The government has asked the Supreme Court to reject the consolidated habeas corpus petitions for former President Rodrigo Duterte, citing lack of merit and being moot. Based on the pleading submitted by the Department of Justice officer in charge, Undersecretary Nicholas T.Y. to the Supreme Court, the government argued that a writ of habeas corpus may no longer be issued as it has become moot and devoid of merit by virtue of its transfer to the International Criminal Court detention facility. The government noted that by the time the petitions were filed, Duterte was no longer in the custody of Philippine authorities and was already on his way to the Hague, Netherlands. It also argued that a writ of habeas corpus is enforceable only within the Philippines. The pleading read, clearly, therefore, since the relief prayed for could no longer be granted, the consolidated petitions are already moot and academic, warranting their outright dismissal by the Honorable Court. Accordingly, even if not rendered moot by subsequent events, the instant petitions will also fail, considering that there was no unlawful restraint, illegal confinement, or imprisonment without sufficient legal basis of Duterte, as the implementation of the ICC warrant was in line with Section 17 of RA 9851, it added. Meanwhile, the government also argued that it was merely complying with its international obligations in assisting the International Criminal Police Organization in arresting Duterte. This, naturally, is well within the President's discretion to do so, and the exercise thereof is patently a political question which is beyond the review power of the courts, it added. The pleading was made in response to the consolidated petitions for habeas corpus filed by the former president's children, Davao City Mayor Sebastian Duterte, Veronica Kitty Duterte, and Davao City Representative Apollo Pulong Duterte. Former President Rodrigo Duterte's late counsel and former Executive Secretary Salvador Midaldea was rushed to hospital in the Hague on Tuesday, which is Manila time. Senator Robin Padilla, who made the update in his Facebook page, shared a photo of Midaldea in the wheelchair. Midaldea's condition is not yet clear, but Padilla is asking prayers for his recovery. Padilla said in a Facebook page, Aslu Allah al-Azim Abril Ashal Azim ang Yashifika. I ask Allah, the Mighty, the Lord of the Mighty Throne, to cure you. ICC spokesperson Fadi Al-Abdallah said he has no information on the development. He told reporters on Tuesday, I have no information, but in general, we do not comment on private life matters. Malacanan on Tuesday maintained that the International Criminal Court retains jurisdiction over the crimes committed. At the same time, the Philippines was a member up until its withdrawal from the Rome Statute. Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Clara Castro made the pronouncement when asked if the palace shared the view that the ICC had jurisdiction over the killings that occurred before 2019 under former President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. Castro first clarified, first, the president said that there is no jurisdiction now. Now that is true, the ICC has no jurisdiction now. But if we base what the Supreme Court said into decision, although it's an obiter dictum, but still the Supreme Court's pronouncement is that all crimes that occurred are covered by the ICC, and according to the Rome Statute that occurred prior to the withdrawal from the Rome Statute, the ICC has jurisdiction, she explained. Castro was referring to a decision by the High Court in 2021 penned by Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, which reminded the Philippine government that withdrawing from the Roman Statute does not discharge a state party from the obligations it has incurred as a member. The period covered by the ICC against the former president was from when he was still mayor of Davao until 2019. Meanwhile, it was in 2011 when the Philippines ratified the Roman Statute and became a member of the ICC. It was only in March 2019 when the Philippines left under the Duterte regime. Okay, we are witnessing technical difficulties. Bear with me right here. Okay, it looks like possibly my friend is already using my Roblox account, so I'm afraid I will not be able to use the Roblox studio at the moment. So we will be switching to Discord feed in a few moments. So we will be getting back into the Roblox studio later. That is once my friend is already done using my account for the Roblox studio. So we would like to apologize to those on air, seeing right now on air that I have been disconnected from the studio. So we will be getting back to the Roblox studio later. Alright, let's move on. Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque's plans to seek asylum in the Netherlands won't affect his cases in the country, upon officials said Tuesday. Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Claire Castro made the pronouncement after Roque recently announced that he will submit an asylum application in the Netherlands, which would grant him the right to non-deportation. Castro said in a past press conference, "It won't affect anything. First of all, he's just going to file a petition and it hasn't been granted yet. Let's remember, before it is granted, he must be able to prove that he has a well-funded fear of political persecution," she added. According to Castro, Roque cannot prove political persecution based on the evidence gathered by the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Task Force against him, specifically on his alleged involvement in the operations of suspected illegal Philippine offshore gaming operator or Pogo Lucky Star 99 in Porac, Pampanga. Castro said, "So how could there be a political persecution if all the pieces of evidence are overwhelming?" Asked if the country aims to work with the International Criminal Police Organization in bringing Roque home, Castro responded in the negative but explained that this may change once a warrant of arrest is issued by a Philippine court. And the government should provide free training and education for motorcycle riders to help reduce motorcycle-related accidents, transport leaders and local officials said Tuesday. This comes after data from the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority showed that motorcycles were involved in most road accidents in Metro Manila. According to an MMDA report, 36,486 motorcycles were involved in road crashes in 2023, accounting for 22.03% of all vehicular accidents that year. The report also recorded 271 fatal injuries from motorcycle-related incidents. In the press conference, AMCA's Chief Executive Officer, George Roereca, said the rising number of motorcycle accidents stems from a lack of proper training before riders obtain their license. Roereca said, "We have to dig deep into the problem. I think the issue here is not necessarily the requirements of the dealers in buying and owning motorcycles. The issue here is whether we are properly teaching riders how to use motorcycles before they get their license." He further emphasized that training should be free, as many riders cannot afford them. The ANCA CEO added, "They buy motorcycles because they cannot afford cars, and they use them to lift themselves out of poverty. The government should provide free training." Quezon City Councilor and Ways and Means Committee Chairperson Wency Lagumbay supported the call for training but noted that regulating motorcycle use in Quezon City is challenging because most of the city's roads are under national jurisdiction. Lagumbay explained, "In Quezon City, regulating motorcycles is difficult because most of the city's roads are governed by the national government. If we introduce regulations, they will affect many national roads." He added that while regulations on smaller roads are feasible, enforcement is more difficult in major thoroughfares, leaving the Land Transportation Office in charge of implementing rules. The Quezon City Council said, "Kung local roads lang po tayo, kung maliit na kalsada, walang problema. Pero being one of the progressive cities in the country, it's harder for us to regulate. And we will leave it to the Land Transportation Office to actually do the regulations. And the only thing that we can actually mandate is to continue to propagate programs that would help, like what George said, to educate our riders of how to use their motorcycles to begin with," Lagumbay added. Meanwhile, Motorcycle Dealers Association of the Philippines President Edwin Go said that dealers uphold strict requirements for purchasing motorcycles. Go said, basic requirement is you must have a driver's license. The basic requirement is a driver's license. We are strict about this because driving any vehicle without a license is illegal. Longbay also urged the Department of Transportation to lead efforts in ensuring that motorcycle riders are both law compliant and properly trained. In order for us to implement these programs and plans that we want to, we also have to have additional enforcers to actually implement them properly. And that's why the government, especially the DOTR, should always step up as well in implementing those rules, he said. If you observe roads like Commonwealth and Quezon Avenue, motorcycle accidents happen either because the rider is unaware of the law or because no one is enforcing it. Royeka reiterated that free, high-quality training is crucial since motorcycles have become a livelihood tool for many Filipinos. The ANCA CEO said, "We need high-quality and free training for those who want to use motorcycles. Whether we like it or not, more people are buying motorcycles because they see them not just as vehicles but as part of their livelihood. Many Filipinos rely on motorcycles for their livelihood, so we need to train them." It is now 10:43 p.m. as we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews Primetime. Stay along with us. We will be right back. Welcome back to koolNews Primetime. Let's continue with the headlines. Fake claims about the Supreme Court receiving a petition of asking President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to resign from his post are just a desperate tactic to distract and deceive the people from issues at hand, Lanao del Sur Representative Zia Alonto Adiong said on Tuesday. Adiong in a statement said that the law must be implemented against people who are making these statements online, as it is a reckless attempt at diverting public attention. The lawmaker was referring to claims spreading on social media, claiming that the Supreme Court had already received a petition containing 16 million signatures asking that Marcos step down from office. This is a blatant act of deception meant to sow confusion and disrupt our nation. We will not allow malicious actors to use the Supreme Court as a tool for political sabotage, Adiong said. The law must come down hard on those spreading these lies, he added. Adiong, an assistant majority leader at the House of Representatives, thanks Supreme Court for quickly debunking the disinformation attack. Earlier, the office of the Supreme Court spokesperson Kamala Ting said the High Tree Pondo has not received any document bearing the title Supreme Court receives petition on 60 million signatures calling for President Marcos' resignation, adding that their office has not issued such a document. According to the Supreme Court, the supposed document was spread by Facebook accounts under the names Chus Lee Pungan and Bernard Flores Maicon. Supreme Court also vowed to investigate these acts of disinformation and take necessary measures, including the imposition of proper sanctions on those responsible. According to Adiong, these false claims, along with misinformation and disinformation spreading over the past week, only signals the need for stronger penalties against parties using social media to propagate false information. Adiong said it's time that we end this kind of deception. Spreading lies has an tangible effect. It poisons the mind of the people and disrupts our country. Those behind this must be held accountable under the law. This information is a serious threat to national stability. The public must be vigilant and verify sources before believing or spreading unverified claims. The truth must always prevail over deception, he added. Aside from Adiong, other lawmakers have called out misinformation and disinformation going on social media networks. Earlier, La Union Representative Apollo Article V said that the massive spread of misinformation and disinformation after former President Rodrigo Duterte was taken into custody by the International Criminal Court only brings shame to the country. Ortega was referring to the huge amount of social media posts containing fake information and even hate speech against foreign institutions like the ICC, as Duterte supporters harassed ICC presiding judge Lulia Montauk and made degrading comments about her. There were also posts falsely claiming that Montauk shared a photo with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s wife, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Also, Ortega noted that there have been different false narratives on social media, including those from former Executive Secretary Salvador Midaldea, who claimed that Duterte was missing and was not given the proper medical care. Ortega said the attacks on Judge Montauk show how far disinformation networks will go to distort reality and discredit legal proceedings. They're fabricating stories, questioning credibility, and spreading outright lies just to muddy the waters. Last Friday, Iloilo Representative Janete Garin said that Midaldea is only spreading misinformation, noting that her prior experience in working with the Dutch people showed that they are very meticulous and considerate when it comes to the health and welfare of people. According to lawyer Cristina Conti, this post may be banned for Duterte's legal standing, as these may backfire through a provision in the Rome Statute may be invoked against such actions. ICC accredited lawyer Joel Putoyan also believes this online harassment of the ICC and its judges may adversely affect Duterte's interim release plan. One moment. There we go. And Northern Summer has solidified its reputation as a prime investment hub after receiving a presidential recognition for its pioneering one-stop action center for strategic investments, the first local government green lane for strategic investments in the country. This recognition, conferred at the Gawat Bayanihan sa Pamumuhunan awarding ceremony in Malacanang Palace on March 13 underscores Northern Samar's growing prominence as an investor-friendly province. Alongside Laguna, Bulacan, Cavite, Pandangas, Ilos Norte, and the city of General Trias, Northern Samar was honored for its commitment to streamlining business processes and fostering an environment conducive to economic growth. J. Hon Allen Perbon, head of the Provincial Economic Development and Investment Promotions Office, PDPO, emphasized that the recognition serves as a strong endorsement of Northern Samar's readiness for large-scale investments. He said on Tuesday this award is important because it is a testament that Northern Samar is investment ready. Our policies are in place, and the provincial government is fully committed to supporting investors, he said on Tuesday. With this latest national recognition, Northern Samar strengthens its appeal as a top-tier investment destination, paving the way for greater economic opportunities, job creation, and sustainable development, he added. Governor Edwin Ong Juan credited the province's investment success to the strategic collaboration between provincial government departments and local governments, which has created a seamless investment ecosystem. Ong Juan said in a statement, while the PTPO team has been instrumental in securing two presidential recognition, this achievement is truly the result of the collective effort of the entire provincial government and all local governments. It is our unity and interdependence that give Northern Samar its unique advantage as a premier investment destination, particularly in renewable energy. The province's efforts in investment promotions have already yielded impressive results. And finally, let's get into the not entertainment. We do not have time for showbiz, but we will be getting into the latest international headlines. Israel launched airstrikes across the Gaza Strip early Tuesday, killing at least 400 Palestinians, mostly women and children, according to local health officials. The surprise bombardment, the deadliest in Gaza since the start of the 17-month war, shattered a ceasefire in place since January. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the strikes after Hamas refused Israeli demands to change the ceasefire agreement. Officials said the operation was open-ended and was expected to expand. The White House said it had been consulted and voiced support for Israel's actions. The Israeli military ordered people to evacuate eastern Gaza, including much of the northern town of Beit Hanun and other communities further south, and head toward the center of the territory, indicating that Israel could soon launch renewed ground operations. Netanyahu's office said Israel will, from now on, act against Hamas with increasing military strength. The attack during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan could signal the full resumption of a war that has already killed tens of thousands of Palestinians and caused widespread destruction across Gaza. It also raised concerns about the fate of the roughly 2,000 Israeli hostages held by Hamas who are believed to still be alive. The renewal of the campaign against Hamas, which is supported by Iran, came as the US and Israel stepped up attacks this week across the region. The US launched deadly strikes against Iran-allied rebels in Yemen, while Israel has targeted Iran-backed militants in Lebanon and Syria. It is now 11 p.m. and that will be it for koolNews Primetime tonight. We will return with more news headlines tomorrow with koolNews at noon, koolNews at 6, and koolNews Primetime at 10:30 p.m. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback through our email at tvhphilippines.news@gmail.com. Until tomorrow, I am Caro, and we will leave you now with the evening drive or Totoy na Lamang that is right here on Cool FM. Until then, good night.